Hey, I'm Todd Brown, and I make these videos because I want you to rip on race day. Alrighty, so here's a question for you. Are you a consumer or are you a committer? And let me try and explain this. I feel like I've discovered, or maybe rediscovered, a massive secret to improve performance. It'll work for anyone if they'll just commit. So here's the deal. Bear with me. Once we commit to an A race, for example, everything changes. Once we commit to anything, really. We're no longer wandering from race to race or thinking about maybe possibly doing a particular event like a typical consumer does, right? We look at this and we look at that and this is neat and I might do this. But instead of that, when we commit to something, we have what the great Napoleon Hill called a definite major purpose. If you haven't read Think and Grow Rich, get over the grow rich part. Don't let that throw you off the trail. The thinking part is amazing. So I do have a definite major purpose, but it goes like this, right? On such and such a date, I will do X. And I was thinking about this today because it was my first race of the year, and it was a chance to check if my own definite major purpose planning was working. For me, this year, it's Marathon Nationals. And once I made that commitment, a number of ideas, which I made a few months ago, but a number of ideas regarding training came cascading into mind. So let me just tell you about three of them. I determined I needed to ride a mountain bike, my mountain bike, exclusively, even if on the road. I actually purchased a second mountain bike. It's a hardtail, so I can ride it on the road, and I'll get into that. I also decided to go harder on my strength training and to build a massive Zone 2 base. In practice, this of course meant no more gravel riding. There just wasn't enough benefit when I'm trying to make really small improvements at this point. That I really need to be in the MTB position exclusively unless I'm doing like a competitive group ride or road race. I've also increased my Race Day Ready CrossFit program from 12 to 15 minutes to 24 to 27 minutes by adding a few other exercises, doing more reps with more weight. So my baseline on my 3 exercises is 10 pull-ups and 30 push-ups in a row and deadlifting my body weight 10 times. And I do that daily, a minimum of 5 days a week, sometimes 6, rarely 7 because, I take Sundays off. And then Mondays and Fridays, those used to be like a Zone 1, a rinse ride, just a casual ride. And I will do that if I feel exhausted, but those were like an hour long, and I've switched that up as much as possible, as much as the schedule permits, to make those 2-hour legit Zone 2 rides. So not noodling around at, for me, like 100 beats a minute, 110 beats a minute. Everything's closer to 130 beats a minute. And here's what I've noticed so far. My Zone 2 efficiency is increasing. I'm getting faster and faster at a relatively low heart rate. Also, I'm never sore from the daily lifting because now my body thinks that's normal. I don't know if bodies actually think, but that's my new normal is to do that weight workout almost daily. And because I'm on my MTB so much, my hardtail, it's down to 2 millimeters, the difference in the positioning. So it's like basically the same bike. My MTB skills are coming back to where they used to be when I was much more dedicated to that sport. So none of this would have happened without the commitment. And without the commitment, I wouldn't have seen all this little incremental improvement, which was on display today. If you go look at my blog post, you can see my heart rate is legit like straight across. It tails off a little bit on the 5th lap for 2 reasons. One, it was my first race, so it was, it was a fast pace. But the other is I knew I had the win in the bag, and I was done. Like I'd done enough. It was just under 2.5 hours of racing. But then again, that's a pretty steady effort. And considering I haven't legit raced since Leadville, I'm stoked about it, to be honest. I think there's a lot more that I can learn, and I think it's going to be a lot easier to discover these little things because of the commitment. All right, commit. Find the A race. Find the personal challenge that's going to push you over the edge, and find these little incremental changes. It's super fun to make improvements. Hey everybody, these podcasts and vlogs are new for Pedal Industries, so if you're enjoying them, please like and subscribe and share with your friends. Thanks so much. Keep challenging yourself.